This is the To Health With That Naturally Healthy in No Time podcast for big health topics taken in small bites. I'm your host, naturopathic Dr. Amy Newsel, and this is Season 1, all about the MTHFR mutation. This week, I want to do something a little bit different. We've had a number of heavy topics lately, and I wanted to lighten it all up a bit this week by talking about something that is sorely needed for many MTHFR folks, and that is ease. Ease, ironically, is something we don't tend to do easily, especially when it comes to self-care. The joy and devastation of the internet is that it offers every human looking around an infinite variety of options, an infinite number of ways to take care of themselves, and every conflicting idea in its full glory. This leaves us with an unmanageable amount of information to sift through and the burden of a ridiculous number of decisions about the best way to care for ourselves. In short, self-care requires not only the time and energy that is needed to actually exercise, eat good food, and do your things, but also the mountain of time and energy needed to figure out what those things should be. Unfortunately, because your mother told you to is not the rationale most people use in their decision tree on this topic, unless their mother happens to be a brain surgeon, PhD, actor, or social influencer. These are the voices that we listen to these days, and in some ways that's beneficial, but it becomes a clamor of a million voices rather than just one. There's something called decision fatigue, and it's the mental and emotional strain resulting from the burden of choices. It often feels like a deep sense of weariness, and it can be a red flag that you're headed for burnout. Burnout happens in self-care as easily as it happens at the workplace, and it shows up in some potentially familiar ways. There are 4 red flags for decision fatigue. Procrastination. Never mind, it isn't due until Friday. Avoidance. Just can't deal with this today. Impulsivity. Cooking is hard, but chips are easy. And indecision. Oh, I don't know. You choose. It's not just the giant life choice decisions that weigh heavily. It turns out the little ones do as well. Are you wearing your brown or red shoes? Will it be oatmeal, eggs, or cereal? Will you start the laundry or leave it? None of these decisions have really any consequence at all, but all of them produce some anxiety and require resources. And those same resources have to be used for the big stuff, like, should I have that procedure? Do I need to call a specialist? Or can I fit physiotherapy into my budget? Actually, just reading the list of questions is exhausting, let alone making the actual decisions. In a situation like MTHFR, there isn't a truly one-size-fits-all path forward. It's a very individual journey, and this can increase the likelihood of decision fatigue. In good news, there are some things you can do to minimize this around MTHFR specifically and make it all a little easier. Free up some resources to use in other areas of your life. So here are some tips to avoid the decision fatigue problem with MTHFR or any other chronic health issue, or actually kind of in any life scenario. Number 1, find your trusted source. The internet is awash with opinions, right ways forward, testimonials, and products that claim to be miracle cures. Find one voice that you trust, and actually try their program, like wholeheartedly. Mixing and matching is a great idea in your wardrobe, but it doesn't work so well with health management strategies. Also, this cuts down on the random Dr. Google ideas. Number 2, stop talking to Dr. Google. Once you find the voice you trust, stop looking for more unless you decide to choose a different voice and follow a different path. But let one system be enough, and don't continue to research and search and search and search. Too often people don't get the benefits of a plan that they started because they're constantly adding in other things. It's like mixing diets in the style of Bridget Jones. Number 3, change one thing at a time. In MTHFR, there's a tendency to have challenging or unexpected reactions to supplements and diet changes. By only changing one thing at a time and giving your body at least a 2-week window before you start another change, you can actually sort out which changes are useful and helpful and which ones aren't. And I think a lot of people forget to do that. They change everything all at once, and then if something doesn't work, they don't know why or what part isn't working. Number 4, and this is incredibly important, streamline what you're currently doing. This is a step that's so often overlooked, and it really matters for everyone, not just people with MTHFR issues. At least quarterly, sit down and take stock of your health habits. This includes prescriptions and supplements that you're taking, exercise, diet strategies, self-care, and even practitioners. Do this on a day when you have some time and energy and resources to devote to it. Be willing to let go of things that aren't working so that you aren't just constantly adding more ineffective strategies to a heap of already ineffective strategies. Make the things you do for your health count, because every one of them takes time, energy, and money. Talk with your doctor if there are prescriptions that might no longer be needed or that aren't actually solving the problem they are intended to solve. Really, truly look at everything and see what you can cut out. Number 5, use the 80-20 rule. This aphorism tells us that 80% of your results come from 20% of your actions. I believe this applies to your health as well. Can you find the few actions that you've taken that are giving you your 80%? To double down on those? Even better, can you let go of some or even all of the rest? I can easily tell you my 20% for me right now. And this isn't the 20% that I had 2 years ago, but I can tell it to you right now. Eating wheat and folate-enriched product free, that is huge for me. Prioritizing sleep and sleep hygiene, and magnesium every night. 3 things. So if I have to drop everything else, I'll still have my 80% out of those 3 things. And number 6, do fewer things better. Doing fewer things for your health, but doing them really well, is actually going to be better for you in the long run than doing more things poorly. Sticking to a diet, prioritizing sleep, and maybe taking a multivitamin is going to be more effective than doing a diet, detox, new exercise program, mindfulness routine, 18-pill per day supplement program that you maybe get right 1 day out of 5. Pick your battles. And number 7, focus on one problem, right? Every little symptom probably doesn't need its own plan. Focus on one big overarching problem, the umbrella problem, like energy or sleep, and let the smaller stuff go. Not only will this make each day a little bit easier, but it also adds up to better results with your health. Never underestimate a clear path forward and the power of doing only a few things well. Thanks for listening.